Yep, definitely not call that.
Good catch, Ramon. Good catch. You're out of here today.
This Echo is brought to you by Echo.
Welcome to Game Day Battle, where Cleveland sports news meets biased and outspoken opinion. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Hope everybody had some fun this both Christmas and New Year's. We had the week off, so happy to be back now. We had a lot of stuff go on in the world of sports, especially here in Cleveland. So we're gonna hit that. First off, DST, Ramon Torres, Brett Finnegan. I'm Mike Glass. I think that we need to spend a tiny amount of time on the Steelers-Browns. Not going to dwell there a whole lot, but we can at least look back at the season that was and what we've got to look forward to in the off-season. We've got a number of things that we can do. Next year we might be sitting at this point and thinking that it's been either a good season, a great season, or talking about the game we got coming up this coming weekend in the playoffs. So let's focus on that. Now, we've also got the end of the NFL season and the beginning of one of my favorite times, the playoff season. We got a bracket going for each of us, some tough calls that we have to make, and we're going to have to stick to it, and of course, be outed and humiliated by everybody for stupid picks. So we're going to do that. We got a little bit on the Cavs as well. Nice start, right?
Yep.
You know, 2-2.
Yep.
So we'll take that for right now. At the beginning of the season, we lost the game to Cincinnati on disorganization at the end of the game. That was on the defensive side of the ball. But still, players that weren't quite aware of where they need to be, what they need to do, and the importance of speed at that point. We end the season with the exact same disorganization on the offensive side of the ball, but I don't care. It's all under the same coach, it's all under the same system, and it's the same group of players with the same bit of coaching. So let's, before we get into anything else, just for the fun of it, let's go back and just play the clip from, yes, you know what I'm talking about. Now,
13-3.
All right, now let me just set this up because this was done, I think, even before the preseason. I think we were just so excited about the NFL season being on, everything was happening quick, and we decided to pull the schedule up.
Play that.
We're going to play it, yeah. But I want to make sure that everybody knows ahead of time. This wasn't like reasoned and you know, we put a lot of research into this. So I think we've mentioned it during the process.
We just looked at it
like, oh, we can beat them. I mean, at this point, we had Hillis, who was a powerhouse. He's on the cover of Madden. Yeah. We had McCoy, who had proven to be a in-game fighter, our captain.
Cupcake schedule, Jacksonville.
Starting off with Cincinnati with all those rookies. This is going to be a shoo-in. So let's just play it, and then we can come back. That side of the table is the biggest bunch of homers ever.
So I got us losing to Miami, Pittsburgh on the road, Baltimore on the road, and maybe I will give Indy that game just to make it more realistic. So I got them at 12-4 with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-game win streak. Give it to me.
Look, I didn't even look at it. I got the same thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, from Oakland to Baltimore, man, it's all wins right there.
That's awesome. So you're just climbing on that bandwagon.
What do you got, man?
I got the same thing.
12-4.
Yeah.
I like
it. So basically everything I had them losing versus Indy, losing at Baltimore.
And we're laughing because we all know that it'll probably be the exact opposite.
Yeah,
but we can dream.
We can. Well, you know, I'm not nearly as optimistic. I got them losing to Indy. I got them beat Arizona, lose to Baltimore, win against Pittsburgh, 9-7 at the very end. That's a solid season. We would be very happy with that.
That sounds more realistic.
I have beating the Jags, the Bengals, the Ravens, losing the Steelers at Pittsburgh, and then beating the Cardinals, the Ravens, and Steelers at home.
Wow.
15-1.
What's the final?
No, it's not 15-1. It's 13-3.
Oh man! All right, so I did
close.
Yeah.
You were the closest. No way, you had 9.
I was the closest at 9.
9 is closer to 4.
Okay, so obviously you can see the exuberance and we're just happy to have football back. But so we were all way off. But let's look at where we were at that point and what we were looking at with this team. We thought we had a genuine NFL core. We thought we had a quarterback. We thought we had a solid running back. We thought we had
a Pro Bowl offensive left side of the line.
Yep, which we kind of do. We just didn't have it this season.
Team?
So yeah. So let's look at where we ended up.
Well, before you say that, it's not all about the things that we knew. But what we didn't know,
Right.
we didn't know who Pat Shurmur was, and now we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that Peyton Hillis was not a good running back in the NFL. We found that out, and maybe he is, and maybe he just blew the season because of some contract crap that's going on between them. I don't know.
Well, he was quoted this week as saying that he now believes in the Madden curse. He was quoted.
Really?
Yep. October, he was in an interview and he said no, he doesn't believe in any curses. A week ago, he was asked the same question and he says there's definitely something afoot. So.
Well, I'll take that then.
We did that. We did that.
We voted him into a bad season.
We made our team fail.
Yes, we did.
We voted.
That's Browns
Why can't it be
football.
Michael Vick again?
That's So let's look where we ended up here. The Browns ended up 4-12. So yes, the mirror image of Ramon's pick. Offense, we have the 24th worst offense. We have the 28th rush offense. And that's 95 yards a game rushing. And you can't do that in the AFC North. That's just pathetic. 183 yards through the air per game. Now, defense, we thought we had something that was a little more positive, but really it's not. Pass, we were finished second in the league. We were first for a lot of the league against the pass. That's 184 yards we gave up. And the rush, we were 30th, so almost the worst in the league. With 147 yards we give up per game. Now, here's why I think it's a bunch of BS. We were never that great of a defense. Our secondary is not that great because if you can run the ball effectively all the time, you get all you have to do is do a little bit on in the secondary, and it looks like you're doing really well. You give up a few yards in the air because everybody's running the ball on you. So it's really, really not very, I guess, honest to say that we have a great secondary. I don't think we should look at it like that. We should look at it, we've got problems with our defense and just look at addressing so many of them.
Make our team sound so horrible now.
We are pretty bad.
But is it true? You can't just, they run it down and they throw it on us once and we bat it down, and now we're like the number one pass defense because we batted down one pass.
This is all by yardage, though. So if you never throw the ball and always run the ball against us, we're going to look great in our secondary.
That's what I'm saying.
We've given up no yards, 0 yards.
I'll take
But
it.
we gave up 300 yards on the ground and a bunch of touchdowns.
If you put great next to the Cleveland Browns in any of those categories, I'll take it.
Well, all right.
I don't know, man. I got to say the one shining spot that I thought was the most consistent was our defense. I really like what Dick Geron did when he came in here, and he really established a solid attitude on the defense. And while it didn't look great at times, and while we definitely broke at times, I think if you could take one thing positive out of the season, it's our defense. We were without T.J. Ward. There were a lot of holes to be filled in there, but we got 5 core guys on that defense right now that we're going to build around, and that is number one. My MVP of the Browns this year is without a doubt DeQuell Jackson. I can't believe he got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. That was sad. But yet Joe Thomas got in. People must not have been watching any of the games this year. But DeQuell Jackson, 158 tackles. Tyre Rubin, that guy's a beast. We got Joe Hayden. Jabal Sheard came out of nowhere. Probably our rookie of the year, I'd have to say. Mm-hmm. And, T.J. Ward, who we missed. Phil Taylor. Probably didn't live up to his first round status. But, I mean, again, he's young.
He came around after that at the end of the season, though.
Yeah, but the consistency issue is what you're looking at, especially from a number one guy. But I think we have key aspects that are going to make our defense better. It's just our offense was just the total the laughing stock of the NFL. I can't remember the last time the Browns had such an awful offense, and that's hard to do because our offense is always terrible. But it was super terrible this year. We had nothing going on for us at all in any of these games, and that comes down to one person and one person only, and that is Pat Shurmur. And I've been waiting to get into this guy, and I'm going to do so right now. This guy should not be a head football coach. I don't know what Mike Holmgren was thinking. I'm totally questioning Mike Holmgren's ethics towards football. I don't think he cares about Cleveland Browns football. This is a coach who was on his way out, who saw an offer he couldn't refuse from a losing franchise. Who's going to turn down $8 million a year to go run a losing franchise? If we keep losing, you don't look any worse. But if he resurrects us, he looks like this football guru. And I just can't believe what he did. He brought in Jake Delhomme so that Eric Mangini would fail. That's the bottom line right there. He wanted Mangini out last year. Mangini did not want Colt McCoy. He did not think he was the guy. He did not see a potential elite status from that quarterback. So they bring in Jake Delhomme. They make Mangini fail. They get Mangini out of there. Pat Shurmur goes and hires the nephew of a defensive coordinator who played for him in Green Bay. They bring this guy in who's done nothing. We've all talked about this. All he did was bring the Rams up. They had one good game. And then all of a sudden he's our head football coach? Are you nuts? This guy's a joke. And it's sad that we got to watch this for another 2 years because he ain't going anywhere. They'll get rid of Colt McCoy before they get rid of Pat Shurmur. You better believe that. This guy does not know football. He does not deserve to be a head coach. And I can't see our offense improving under a guy who's trying to learn on the job. I would rather Dick Duran be our head coach, move Shurmur to offensive coordinator because that's all the guy knows, and then just try to go from there. But I mean, the problem starts from the front office, and the regime is tainted by people who don't care and people who don't know football. And I mean, what positive can you take out of that? We got a 4th-round pick coming up. You think we're going to take that 4th-round pick? Hell no. We're going to trade down because that's what the Browns do. We're going to trade down. We're going to pick a couple of no-name guys and pass on definite stars. And, you know, even if we do take that 4th pick, people act like the Browns haven't been losing the past 10 years. You know what I'm saying? We've had top 5 picks out of the last 6 years. And what good has that done us? Nothing.
Yep. And, you know, you touched on a number of good points. One thing that you mentioned before you started getting into Pat Shurmur is the defense, and this is under new defensive coordinator. So if the question is, how can you tell if Shurmur, a first-year coach, is doing good because it's not his system? Well, look at what the defense has done. I agree. I don't think the defense is as good as it looks on paper, but you can see the positive nature of this defense.
Growth.
You can see the structure
Absolutely.
in place. You input better players, and suddenly you get better results. And the players you have that are good, they get better acquainted with the system, and you have a core. Nothing like that appears on the offense. Nothing like that appears in the team in general. And you can't hear a bit of that from Shurmur in anything that he's ever said to the media at any point. I get nothing that he tells me inspires me to trust this guy. And yet, Holmgren, who he does say some good things to make you think good things about him, but has nothing that he can convince me about Pat Shurmur as to why he thinks he was a good choice, and he's been grilled on it.
It was a friend hire. He brought in, and it wasn't the only position he did that on. A lot of other like just low level coaches, position coaches. He brought in guys who were from his coaching tree and from friends of the family, and you just can't do that. That's not going to win you a football game. The organization is tainted. The Cleveland Browns' true organization packed up and went to Baltimore. Okay, and then we had all these guys come in and try to pick up the pieces, but none of them have that Cleveland Brown attitude that we've had. They're trying to bring in this West Coast offense that worked in the early 90s, okay? Any half-wit defensive coordinator knows how to stop a West Coast offense, okay? And if they don't, they shouldn't be a defensive coordinator. That system is not going to work in the AFC North. Obviously, the toughest division in probably all the NFL. We got 3 playoff teams coming out of that division. He didn't get one win against any of them.
Right.
And you need to be a smash-mouth, tough football team, not a West Coast offense, and try to implement the players that you already have in that system. You need to take the strengths of your team and then build your offense around that. Not say, this is what we're doing, I hope you guys can do it.
Well, quick off the top of your head, if you think about every offensive system that we've had since '99, is this the worst showing you think?
Absolutely, by far. What do we got here? Our top running back, 161 carries, 587 yards, 3.6 yards a carry, only 3 touchdowns. Our quarterback of the future, 57% completion percentage, didn't even break 3,000 yards, only 14 touchdowns. I will say he didn't throw a lot of picks. That's probably the only thing I'm going to give Colt McCoy this year. +3 turnover ratio, but he's not making NFL caliber throws. We've been saying it all year. He's not showing elite status, and if you're not an elite quarterback, then you're not worth building a franchise around. And he's not that guy.
He's a great game manager, and what do you do with great game managers? You stick him as your backup quarterback. They can come off the bench if you need them, and that's where Colt McCoy is. And I would love to see him hang on to him for as long as he'll stay with us as a backup quarterback. I think he'd be a great backup quarterback.